Hey, PPC agencies serving local businesses. If you want to spy on your client's competition and identify high opportunity clients already advertising on Google, keep watching this video. I'm going to show you who's advertising, who gets their most visibility, their ad rank, how often they show up, plus the actual ads they're running. All right, let's take a look at a local market. Hey there, how's it going? This is Justin Rondo from InvisiblePPC, and today I want to start looking at, what's going on in the Austin plumbing advertising scene, right? So I want to see, who's advertising, like how many ads are we seeing there? What are they actually saying? And then we can actually dig into some of their landing pages too. I think that'd be kind of fun. All right, so without further ado, you can see on my screen right now, we have the Austin plumbing scene for about a week. There was 38 total competitors we saw with 507 unique ads. Cool. So I just clicked into the advertisers and I just wanted to see who the heck is showing up in the Austin area right now. And then you got a lot of advertisers with only a handful of them actually making a significant splash in terms of their ads being seen, with Strand Brothers being there at the top, Roto Ritter coming in, and then it was kind of stark drop off as you go further down. Then you start getting into some of the other smaller plumbers who are getting only 1% of visibility. And to break this down, how we're defining visibility here is during this search period, based on the keywords that we were putting in, how many times did one of their ads show up? So it didn't need to show up first, didn't need to show up second, last, whatever. It just needed to show up on that first page. So we're seeing here, the people that are dominating are still super, super high ad position. And yeah, so some interesting stuff going here. What's also very interesting to me is that there's a lot of just standard landing, standard home pages that they're sending to. So real quick, let's take a look at the keywords. Real simple keywords: plumbing, plumber, plumber near me, plumbing near me, emergency plumbing. So basic stuff for people who are like, oh crap, something broke. Let's go in and take a look at some of the ad copy real quick. So there they are, Strand Brothers. And let's make sure we're hitting, we'll take all of those and we can leave all the keywords there as well. All right, so what do we have? Looks like there's a lot of branded campaigns that are coming in for non-branded things. They're still relying on their brand first and not speaking towards what people are looking for. Hey, they're looking for a local plumber or for someone to help them out. So they could probably kind of pull that back and lean into, what people are looking for. Body copy on this: 50% off any repair, all parts and labor is backed by 100% satisfaction, Austin area full service. So cool. They're catching the service area. They're catching those types of things, which is really, really strong. And that's all good. I'm curious now. So let's take a look at their page. Okay. So they're sending to their actual website, which can be problematic. There's a lot of areas for me to drop off here. There's a lot of overwhelm. There's not a lot of focus for me. So if I was doing a search for a plumber or a plumber near me, there's probably a reason I'm doing it. And that is to, actually find someone to fix something for me. That's I'm not doing plumbing research on my own accord because it's just something I'm interested in. I'm not doing a research paper. I'm looking for somebody that can then provide a service. So you have a lot of wasted space kind of here in terms of plumbing. And then you get down here, okay, expert plumbing service and repair. Okay, kind of things, we got it. Here's what we cover. Those are all specific links. That's great for SEO, less good for if you're running ads. And the ask is buried. And then, oh, that's interesting too. When you scroll up, that comes back. But the ask is super buried here. Schedule an appointment, first name, last name, address, email, request type. Okay, a lot of things. It's funny, they have plumbing there, but they're getting into a lot of other things. So they say, hey, here's everything we do. When you can select it, oh gosh, heating, air conditioning, now you're getting a little all over the place. Because of this long form, you just see lots of odd images that don't make a whole lot of sense. But yeah, they're in danger here when it comes to a landing page. Let's go back into here. So cool. Hey, local plumbing repairs. Awesome. You're telling somebody right now that, hey, if you're looking for repairs, we've got you. When they hit the page, you're not doing the number one thing that you need to be doing, which is reminding them why they clicked this ad, and then fulfilling on that promise. It's just plumbing, right? Granted, that's the keyword they likely typed in, or some derivative of the search term. But what you're seeing here is just not a whole lot of consistency from the ad. And then the ask again is super buried on here. I'm curious to, let me do this real quick. Inspect. That should throw me back. Mobile wise, same problem. Like someone coming on a phone, a lot of these searches are going to be coming from the phone. That's good that they have the phone number here. It's awesome that they have that schedule online button up there, but that schedule online button should probably be sticky. And then, it's not until like fourth or fifth swipe that you're getting to the longest form in history. So yeah, just a simple tip. You're going to see this a lot in the PPC space, even from the big dogs. Like this is a fairly large company. Even the big dogs make these types of mistakes where they, quite frankly, they just forget like that their homepage doesn't make a actual. Okay, I'm going to type that back because that was a weird setup. So a lot of these people make the number one mistake where they think their homepage is sufficient, and it makes sense because they spend a lot of money building a website. But man, like you're wasting money. You're losing people. I'd love to see the analytics on this, and I would bet a good amount that the exit rate, or I guess I know bounce rate and those things don't really matter anymore in GA4, but people aren't converting on this page. And you can see all of these are going across, like 24-hour plumbing service. It's going to that same page that we just looked at. And when do they talk about 24-hour? Like, let's do a search. 24-hour. It's not even on the page, right? That is the main thing they're trying to get across in this advertisement. And this advertisement's getting shown a decent amount. But they're not following up on it. Local 24-hour plumbing, all plumbing overview. Okay, this is smart. This one's one that popped up with ad extensions, so they can do all those other things. Ad extensions are always a good thing. If you're not utilizing those, you have to. They don't show up all the time, but when they do, they can really push the competition down. $50 off any repair. Do they talk about $50 off? No. 50 is not on the page, so the offer is not even there. Still all going to that same page, plumbing overview. See our plumbing offers. Maybe, but those again are buried down on the page. That hero shot takes up way too much. Local plumbing repairs, full service plumbers, 50%, $50 off. So these are all like they're all kind of the same ad at this point, all pointing to the same plumbing overview page, which in my opinion is just as bad as a homepage at this point. It is not focused. It's not going to keep people engaged. And from a mobile experience wise, the only thing they had going good for them was they had that button at the top. But if you're thinking about how a phone works, a button at the top and phones keep getting bigger, harder to click. You generally want that down at the bottom, and you'd want to be a bit more prescriptive in that. But cool. I don't want to go hard. I'm not trying to, pick a fight with the strandbrothers.com or anything like that. But that's just an example of you're spending a lot of money on these ads. You're showing up all of the time, which means you're willing to outbid most people to get to the top of these rankings, and you're just sending people to an overview page. That is not what you want to be doing. Let's take a look at somebody else. Roto-Rooter is another pretty large brand. Let's take a look at them. So same day plumbers near you. All right. This is okay. You can already see, they're pushing campaign IDs in there. So that's going to be either something they're doing for the landing page or they're using it for tracking, but let's take a look. So while that loads, so you have same day plumber near you, $75 off same day plumbers. Again, keyword plumber is the one that's kicking this thing up. And then they're using more descriptive same day plumbing service. Okay. So they're leading with that. All right. So this is a solid, this is a squeeze page, a landing page rather, whatever you want to call them, potato. Right at the top, schedule service online. See what happens when I click that. Brings me to a new page is my guess. Starts the whole process. Cool. It stays fairly consistent. So, all right. Experts in plumbing, drains, and water cleanup. Same day plumbers near you. That fits. $75 off. Do they say it anywhere on the page? Let's see. $75. That offer is right here. You might want to actually kick that up. Anything that's probably in your headline that made people click, you want to reiterate front and center. Granted, but it is kind of here, just breaking the fold, which is fine. 24/7, they talk about that. My guess is they do. They seem to be on top of this pretty well. They don't bring up 24/7, but that's okay. They probably want to make sure they have that. They could get that into the copy here. Emergency same day appointments. That's awesome. 24/7. 24/7 emergency. Especially if you're getting into this, they could say emergency same day appointments 24/7. Bam, they nailed it. Okay, they highlight their services. That's awesome. Cool. And then they break that down. I think that's the only way to exit it, which is fine. And then you can schedule service from there. That's really, really, really smart. The experts you've trusted for over 85 years. Great that you're building in trust because people want to do business with people they trust. $75 off, get the coupon, schedule online, schedule now. That seems fine. And then experts in plumbing, water cleanup. Hey, you're reiterating what was said over here. That's fantastic. Testimonials, heck yeah. Make sure people know that they can trust you. More reasons to trust. Membership affiliation, all good. And then they kind of get into their basic footer. This is a solid page. Let's see, I'm going to call that number. So they're going hardcore on calls throughout the page. So solid stuff here. And they're delivering on the promise that was in the ad. That's smart. I want to see, what's this one? They're all 16512. Okay. Are there any that are not? Let's see. Oh, there we go. Same day plumbing service. We replace, repair, and install. Okay, so this is going to bring us to a different page. I'm wondering if that's just for tracking. Let's take a look. Okay, yep. So this is going to be, they're using a different number here. I guess it's going to be based off of the region. So that's Travis. No, those are all Travis. Huh, interesting. Not sure why they're doing that, but they probably have a reason from a tracking perspective. But now I hope you can see the difference between these two types of pages here. And I think that's what's important to see here. You have this one popping up here and then here. Notice the difference. There's when you're on this page, the only thing you can do is schedule or call. Granted, you can interact, but they all lead to schedule, right? That's really, 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 really smart. And then, everything just kind of goes back to that main call to action. Whereas here, and the goal when you're doing calls to action is that you want to try to have as close to a 1-to-1 link to call to action ratio as possible. Obviously, that's not completely possible because you need to have things like privacy policies and stuff like that on the page. But here, there's so many things I can do. Offer, advantage program, membership, blog. Now I can go into the heating and cooling side of things. Look at all of these links that I could just lose focus on. And even if all of those things just stayed right up there at the top, stayed right up there, this section here is taking up way too much space. I would knock this down and try to even get this copy up with the schedule an appointment. And if it's going to be this long of a form, I'd do a multi-step form or do what these folks did, which was really smart. And they scheduled to almost like a microsite where there's multiple steps. And this is super smart. They're saying, hey, this is the information I'm about to get with you. Start working through this. And then as they start collecting this information, dollars to donuts, they are putting this into their system. So if you leave, they have your info to get back in touch with you. So those are some pretty solid stuff. Let's see if I can find someone who's not so big. Let's go back to advertisers real quick. Cool. All right. So we have, I want to go to Daniels Austin. So they're doing well. And just pro tip, whenever you're looking at if you're able to see these types of visibility reports, these people, if you're trying to pitch them business, they're going to be really, really hard to win. They're a franchise, it looks like. So if you win that business, you're going to get paid. But you want to be looking at people who are falling down on this threshold. The folks down here are likely going to have some opportunities, but they might not. The reason why they're at such a low visibility rate is likely because they don't have the budget and they might be doing it internally. But either way, anybody who's advertising is worth likely reaching out to if you're trying to win business as an agency. But let's look at Daniels Austin. So let's go back to ad copy. There you are. And let's just do that. Okay. Great. So we have Daniels Austin. So going to be much more of a localized brand in the Austin area. So emergency plumbing 24/7. Perfect with that keyword. Let's see the page. Oh no, it's a homepage again. Or well, not a homepage. It's as bad as a homepage. But look what they did that's different that I think is smart. So they don't go to a pure, like a pure landing page, but they have landing page elements on here where they could take a lot of this and just hide a lot of different factors so that they don't have a lot of leakage there. And then they also have this pop up with text with us, call me, email us, those things. What does this look like on mobile? Let's see. Ooh, so that would take up most of the phone. That'd be interruptive. But yeah, you're looking in better shape on the phone, which again, a lot of people from Google search are going to be coming from. Book appointments right there. Boom, book appointment. Emergency plumbers, like they're reiterating exactly what was the copy on the ad. And in Austin, 24/7 emergency plumbing service. Kind of a lot to read. I'd break down real quick like what we can do for you and just how to get there. And like, yeah, that there's a lot kind of going on there with like what to read and those things. So let's close that out and let's look back at the desktop site. So emergency plumbers here, and I get why they have this. So this page is now, I kind of guess take back some of what I was saying. This is good where it's emergency plumbers book appointment. You probably want to have more copy up top. This is really an SEO page. So they're trying to rank for emergency plumbers in Austin, and SEO pages are great. You should be doing that. You want to make sure that you're getting that search traffic and people come to the site so you don't have to always pay for ads. But ads are going to be a part of your just overall strategy if you're going to stand out in the plumbing business. Let's see what happens when I say book appointment. Does it just link me down? So overlay, step by step, kind of same process that the other folks are doing. That's solid. And then they have another one kind of broken down here for servicing all brands. Okay, cool. Let's look back at the ad. So this one's kind of going to their emergency plumber SEO page, which isn't as strong. But I do like that they're making the ask up front versus just having this big old section that takes up your whole screen that says plumbers. Daniel's Plumbing HVAC 24-hour service. That goes to the same page. Then you have other things like, so you have same day service available. This is just bringing you to their home page. One call, one company, 24/7 emergency service. This isn't the worst thing I've ever seen. When you're sending to a homepage, this homepage feels a lot like a landing page, which is great. They could likely dupe most of this, take out any content that's not on that emergency plumber side of things, and utilize something like this. I think it's a beautiful look. But what is beautiful doesn't always convert. I think the book appointment kind of gets lost because it's kind of this. It just doesn't stand out as much. It's in a good section that allows it to stand out. That's solid. But yeah, if they're going plumbers near me, one call, one company, 24/7 emergency service. Again, the emergency stuff you're not talking about as much. So, but likely if they're searching for a plumber, there's a level of an emergency happening there. So HVAC, plumbing near you, Daniel's house. So a lot of just homepage stuff. A lot of it. The fact of the matter is, a dedicated landing page for your paid ads is going to be the difference maker. It doesn't matter if you have the best media buyer in the frickin' world. If you don't have a landing page that's consistent and set to convert, you're just burning money. You're just burning it. When you're thinking about paid media and PPC, like, it's not just like, am I good at driving traffic to a page, right? It's not enough to be good to drive traffic. It's about capturing their information and capturing intent and being able to follow up with those folks. Like, you can drive traffic all day. Great. You can build a pixel, retarget again, and pay more money to your advertising department and to the networks that you're running things on. You want to get people on your list as fast as possible and get people to book an appointment as fast as possible. And sending it to your homepage or to an SEO-oriented page is only ever going to get people confused and not kind of speak to that detail of like why they put like these very, very high, like highly competitive keywords, why they put those search terms in to begin with, right? So, yeah, let's take a look at one more. I think that could be a fun thing to take a look at. Let's go back to the advertisers here and see who else we got. Okay. All right, let's take a look. Who else do we have in here? Keyword count 426. Let's do stop reliable air. Let's do Osborne. So let's go back to add copy. Osborne. There you are. Filter. Okay. Another case of Osborne Plumbing going to homepage. All of them going to the homepage. All of them. 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 Oh my God, they have so many ads. Not all of them are getting seen. They're at a very low percentage point because we do round up here. But and low visibility. So they're not getting seen all that much, but like, hey, let's see what's going on. This is the homepage. They ask you to share location. That's cool. Sewer hydrojetting, request a service. So yeah, homepage. Plumber's bash drop text calls first, locally owned. All good stuff. Like that's clickable. That's good. But again, there's a lot of drop off points. If you're spending money on ads, you're losing a lot of people up here. Like the main asks, you can request service or quote, cool, sewer hydrojetting. But the problem with homepages, the problem every time with utilizing homepages on things, even if they have like a decent main, like, you know, above the fold setup, is that there's just way too many options. And when people are searching for something, you don't want to give them options, you want to give them the solution. So yeah, in these cases, it's like, oh man, like really focus in on like what are the key services. They're going for plumbing right now. You're bidding on somebody saying I need a plumber, but you're not. You say plumber here, yeah, and that's cool, but everything else is just kind of missing the point. Yeah, I mean, you're getting down here. There's some good content and those types of things, but again, if people can't see right away that they're on the right page, they're not going to interact much more than that. Like a decent enough homepage, like you're probably doing fine with that. Terrible PPC page. There's too many options for them, and it's gonna be really hard for you to track anything as well. So, yeah. So let's take a look at some of the ad copy while we're here. Plumbing repair, affordable flat rate pricing. So it's interesting they took this one. So they have a good amount of stuff for 24/7. They're not saying a lot of stuff in terms of like 75 off, 50 off, or those types of things. They're just going, hey, we have flat rate pricing. That's a way to do it. If they do have any of those callouts, that might be worthwhile, because that seems to be like what some of the bigger players are doing. But yeah, you just want to make sure if they're coming from plumbing, Osborne Plumbing, affordable flat rate pricing, they're leaning into affordable. That's smart. Router service of every side of residential swirling. That's interesting here. Like, so my guess is they for all of their ads, they're kind of like using like groupings of different copy. And so you're grabbing stuff for if they have sewer campaigns that are coming up in here. That might not be what people are looking for at that point, especially if they're typing in like a plumber near me. It might not be a sewer thing that's going on. So if plumbers near me is what's triggering that, again, they're gonna be slightly confused. And then remember, if they're reading things about sewer, they're getting there. They're not going to see it. The only time you talk about like routers and sewers and things like that is right in the top corner until you get further down. So that's a bit of an issue. So pretty much today, like what we were looking at across kind of like these larger advertisers and some of the like the smaller, more local ones in the Austin area is they don't like landing pages. Apparently, I think only one of the 25% of the people we looked at today only had a dedicated landing page. The rest sent them to either SEO pages, which they think are the same as a PPC landing page, and they're absolutely not. And then their homepage, which is just where clicks go to die. So yeah, like if you're interested in any of the stuff that I talked about today, we're going to be putting out more videos like this that breaks down kind of like what's going on in particular kind of local service niches in different areas of the country. If there's any particular niches you want to see or locations you want me to take a look at, like drop that in the comments or just hit us up at IPPC if you're liking this. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one.